Welcome to Traffic Time. If this is not your first time in this channel, thank you very much for following. Thank you for the support. If you are new to this channel, I take you guys through my thoughts, my opinions, things that come across my mind, things that I might have discussed with friends and family throughout the day, things that just pop back into my head as I take this drive home. Typically, I have about an hour plus or minus on this drive. I can only listen to so much music. I'm sure a lot of you are the same way. Give you guys something to think about, something to discuss with your significant other, with friends, family. Getting right into it, today's topic is going to be today's work ethic. The reason why I wanted to talk about it was because it seems that I notice it more and more often as I go to stores, as I stop by gas stations. I've led associates, young or old, for the last almost 20 years. So I've seen, unfortunately, a decline in the work ethic. And typically, and again, that's not on anybody, on everyone, not in every industry, obviously, but in my personal experience, the decline in the 25 and under age is where I have seen it the most. I have consistently thought about it. I've talked to it with friends and family. We can't seem to narrow down what is it about that age group or current age group that make them not want to put in the same effort as people around them, or the same type of effort that my current age group, which is typically the millennials, have put into our work over our years working. A couple of things that come to mind. One, I can understand that a lot of individuals jump into certain works, certain companies, not wanting to do that for the rest of their lives. They got a job, they pay bills, and they're trying to do it until they get to the next step. And that is one thing that stood out, that somebody actually brought up when we questioned their work ethic in that younger age group, and that was their answer. So to me, it's hard to grasp because the majority of the jobs, almost every job I've held in my career, it wasn't a lifelong path. It wasn't until my current position now that I actually feel like it could take me to my retirement. But all these years I've been jumping, from company to company, trying to move up to get to positions where it not only pays well, but I feel comfortable taking on the next role. And it isn't that I'm going job to job every 2 or 3 years. My average lifespan with the company is about 5 years, the most being almost 10 with the previous company. And again, I've moved around within those jobs, a couple positions, and those are the positions that I've jumped through because of my work ethic, the amount of work I put into it. Willing to learn and continuously improve is what's always caused me to basically get to where I wanted to get. I've gotten positions, I've gotten jobs based on that experience. Now that I'm at where I'm at now, it applies again. I am going to put in the work that I need to do to get to that next level. Once I get to that next level, you could say I'm comfortable and I could stay at that position without trying to move up. But at the same time, I'm not going to pull back on the work ethic or the quality of my output. And that seems to be the thought process of a lot of young adults, is that they seem to basically feel that they don't want to exert that energy. They don't want to put out all that effort and energy into something that they're not going to do for the rest of their lives, which is crazy to me, because how are you going to move to the next position, to the next job, with a work ethic like that? You're not going to get the references. You're not going to get the connections based on your work ethic, having it the way it is. And I don't think a lot of kids, I call them, or the younger generation, gets it, and they don't see it that way. They just see it as, I'm going to wait till that next position opens up. I'm going to apply. I'm going to get in, or at least get into something more comfortable and work my way up there. But again, people don't realize that, a year, 2 years, 3 years flies by. And in those 3 years, to stay in the same, bottom position, while you could have been, increasing your salary or hourly wage doesn't make sense. Now, you don't have to take on double the amount of work for the same pay. It just means that you're going to give it 100% on a daily basis. You don't have to give more or less, and you just have to let your superiors know your expectations and what your goals are. And nowadays, especially with good companies, those managers, those supervisors will work with you, and they will give you the tools that you need to move on up, especially if you work for a big company that has multiple positions, multiple promotions on a year-to-year basis. It not only looks good on you, but it looks good on them to have somebody in their team move on up. And as you build those relationships with the supervisors, it just increases your chances to get to that. Not only that, once you make those connections with your supervisors, because of your work ethic, it allows you to build those connections where they can give you, reference letters. They can connect you. Maybe they know a friend or family member, another company that's looking for a position that you want to get. So those are the things that, again, it comes across. I just don't understand why those individuals don't want to put in that effort. Now, it goes on the other hand, or on the other side of the spectrum that I thought about. If those younger adults, right, kids, are at the bottom of the family tree, they have 2 to 3, 4, siblings older than them that could be in our age group, that 30, 35, 40 age group. And let's say those individuals have worked hard but haven't reaped the benefits of that hard work. To them, they're going to see it and say, you know what, why am I going to give out all this energy and all this extra work when it's not going to pay out? Why don't I wait around, give the minimum, make the same as everybody else, and wait till something pops up? What they're not understanding is sometimes those situations happen because of whatever reason they might have that's holding them back. Some people have a difficulty with English as their main language. Some is their third language, so that's one challenge. Some didn't get the education that allows them to move up fast enough, or maybe they struggled in a lot of other ways that they weren't able to communicate or didn't want to communicate with their friends and family, and they kept it all those years, and not until now or their current age are they actually putting that effort and slowly moving on up. Sometimes those individuals don't want to move up, especially at a certain age. Now they feel like, you know what, I'm gonna put in my 100%, top off at the pay rate that I'm gonna top off, but I don't want responsibility. I don't want to do anything extra. I'm not in the mindset of being a supervisor or trying to move up to a certain position because I'm a back half of my working career. But when you're only 19, 20, 21, if you have that same mindset for the next 40, 50 years, it's going to be a rough 40, 50 years. And some make it. I would say a small percentage of individuals actually strike it, make those jumps from a low-paying job to a great-paying job, and that's when they start putting in that effort. But that is, far in between, and that is very unlikely. It's kind of like winning the lotto. A lot of people play it, and only 1 or 2 people win it. So for you to continuously have that mindset, it is going to be difficult. So, in a nutshell, I haven't been able to crack that code as to why people don't want to put in that effort. And again, it's not on anybody specific. I know there's individuals in my age group that I've talked to that don't put in the effort. They the same mentality they have as the ones that are in that younger age group is, why am I going to put more work, effort into something that doesn't pay me more for that effort, and I'm going to make the same as other people that work less. I'll make the same as those that give out more. And it used to really bother me at this point in age. People are going to be who they're going to be. They have their own situations. Typically, as long as it doesn't intervene with my goals, or they're not in my team, I let it go. I don't judge them. I don't let them, know how I feel about them. I might have an opinion. It might, cross my mind, but I'll let it go. But typically, those are not the individuals that I hang out with, that I have consistent conversations with, because once you get into that bubble, you tend to stay in that bubble. On that same note, I saw, I don't remember if it was a post or another podcast, but somebody said, if you surround yourself around 5 geniuses, you will be the 6th. If you surround yourself around 5 rich people, you will be the 6th. But if you surround yourself around 5 dumb people, you will be the 6th. And that really stuck out with me because throughout my life, unfortunately, I've had to break away from a lot of people, and not intentionally because I didn't want to be around them more, because I consciously thought about trying to separate, but just naturally by the goals that I've had and the things that I've wanted to do, that I've accomplished, I've had to leave a lot of people behind. I haven't seen a lot of individuals in so many years. It's not just from moving or getting married, because I do still have people I talk to, people I know. I've made new friendships, but typically not until you get to a certain point is it that you start building new relationships, because you start to see what basically they have, what you try to accomplish. You have like-minded people that are trying to get to the next level and aren't just settling with where they're at. And that is a hard thing to come across in the younger generation. Now, giving it up to those that do have that willpower, that do have that intent to move up and make it, and they're going through college, they're going through multiple jobs, they have hoops to jump through, but they're still pushing through and giving it 110% to move on up and have this great career, great job. Keep pushing through. It can definitely be hard and lonely on that road, especially when you don't have that support. When you have friends and family that can push you and guide you and provide that support emotionally, mentally, financially, that is great. Use it for as long as you can, because what I'll tell you is a lot of those people, their payout, their return is you succeeding. When people don't want to support, mentally or emotionally, is because they don't want to see somebody else succeed, because they couldn't do it or they didn't get the same support, so they don't want to offer it. So again, if you're in that pathway and you're doing it but you find it hard, just remember, it wouldn't be hard if it was if it wasn't the best route for you to take. You take the easy way out, typically it doesn't give you those results. So keep pushing through. Guys, if you have any ideas, topics, comments on this subject, go ahead and leave a comment. I appreciate it if you guys give me some feedback. You guys have a great time, great day. Hope you guys enjoy this channel. Thank you.